my iPad isn't working. How can I record this video when my iPad isn't working?
2,000 years later.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. Before I get started, hook 'em horns. My Longhorns take on Louisiana Monroe this week. Listen, like I did last week, I would be lying if I said I researched Louisiana Monroe. I would be lying if I said, here are some things they do well, because I honestly didn't take the time to look. Because you know what? Why? Why would I? Because Texas is the #1 team in the country. And you know who cares that Texas is #1 in the country? Absolutely nobody. Nobody cares who's #1 in the country right now, because we still need to go out there. We need to take care of business. We need to win football games. We need to do what we're supposed to do. And we need to continue to improve so that I can make these videos and I can be like, who cares who we're playing? We're going to dominate them. Honestly, though, we should dominate Louisiana Monroe. And I love this schedule where we get to have these fine-tuned games before we get to SEC play next week. But let me just get into this video and tell you the 3 things that I'm going to be paying attention to for the Longhorns this weekend when they play a game at the frickin' same time as Colorado. But let me get into this video. So here's where things get interesting. Let's be honest here. Texas should beat this team. No one's going to say that otherwise. I don't even know what the spread is. I don't even look at the spread this week because I'm actually making this video earlier than I usually do. I'm trying to get into a better rhythm because I'm covering 3 teams. I don't know why I did this to myself, but here we are. So the interesting thing this week about Texas, I think last week Texas played 77 players. Think about that for a second. Texas played 77 players. And that feeds into my anxiety of the things that I'm seeing and the things that I don't love. That's okay. I'm okay them playing whoever they need to play and working to figure it out so that we're ready when the competition gets harder. So here are some things that I'm focused on for this week as we head, or we're actually at home. So here, the first thing I'm going to be paying attention to is our punter. So I have been taking my time and researching what other people are saying, watching my content creators and seeing what's going on. Some of the things that people are saying is actually don't like the hang time of our punter. It sounds really ridiculous that I'm focused on this, but I think it's a really good point if your punter isn't getting a good hang time and you can't go back there and do what you're supposed to do on special teams. So this week, I'm going to be watching the punter, and I'm going to see if the punter gets any better or what that looks like. So yes, it sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to be paying attention to that. Second thing I'm going to be paying attention to is our defensive line, because I've been paying attention to the defensive line from jump. The one thing I did go look up was to see if Louisiana Monroe could run the ball. Looks like they've been pretty effective running the ball. So good time for our defensive line to be tested again. So I will be paying attention to them. I'm also going to be watching the linebackers taking off a pair of glasses, a pair of my very heavily critiqued glasses. So I'm going to see what our linebackers look like this week. At the end of the day, we have to be able to stop the run. We're going to beat this team, but sometimes I just feel like I want a little more. As I'm saying that, though, it's hard to kind of say that when you're playing 77 players, but it's an advantage. I've been telling people that Texas's competitive depth is very good. Nobody wants to believe me. Everybody thinks I'm overreacting because I'm a homer. At the end of the day, if you can play 77 players and there's 0 drop-off in the way that you play, I think that says something. The other thing I'll be looking for, and listen, I probably should have started with this, but this should be Arch's first game. This should be Arch Manning's very first start in college football. Everyone has been seeing it. Everyone has been waiting for it. So if it happens this weekend, all eyes will be on Arch. And I am really going to be focused on the play calling with Arch Manning, because I think the way that Coach Sark calls the game for Arch is going to tell me everything I need to know about Arch's development. He's a Manning. We got it. All of a sudden he can run, which kind of doesn't make him a Manning, but we'll leave that alone. He's extremely athletic. He's a great quarterback. He's a 5-star for crying out loud. Him and Ewers were ranked the exact same coming out of high school. So he is a stud. I expect him to play well, but I'm very interested to see the play calling that's going to happen with Arch being in there as opposed to Ewers. I'm going to cheat here and add another one because we've had running back issues as far as health goes. I'm curious to see who's going to get the start this weekend against Louisiana Monroe. Obviously, it kind of, I don't want to say it doesn't matter because it sounds so disrespectful, but I'm not worried about who's going to get the start. I'm just curious to see it because it will let me know who's healthy and who's not. Or who knows, maybe we're just keeping people out because we're keeping them on the bench for conference play. I don't really know how that's going to work out. But at the end of the day, obviously my prediction, Texas should beat Louisiana Monroe. I don't even care what the spread is. They should cover the spread. It's going to be very interesting to see how Arch Manning does in his start. If I made this video early and Ewers gets better and Ewers doesn't and Arch doesn't start, I will be very disappointed. But I think the right thing to do here is to start Arch Manning. Why not give him his first start? Give Ewers a week off. Why not? Like, what do you have to lose? Because I don't think Texas can lose this game. Again, it's football. Anything can happen. You never know. Things get crazy. I think it would be nice just to see Arch start his first game. It's at home. Lead Texas out there. Do what you got to do and take care of business. And let's get to 4-0 and let's start conference play next week. So again, I have Texas in a blowout. Should be a blowout. If it's not a blowout, I will have concerns. But as always, at the end of the day, we should take care of business, and I'm not concerned about this game. Next week, it gets interesting. First game, SEC play. Super excited about that. But as of right now, I think we should win this game, and everything should be fine. So hook 'em. I will end this here.